Shit. Wake up music. Shit. Never stop. For that great divine. Let's go. Salute. There's a rebel in E. I never lose that love. But that's deep in D. Brothers and sisters. There's a rebel in E. I never ever lose that love. But that's deep in D. Yeah. Brothers and sisters. There's a rebel in E. Keep on grooving, never no losing. Do exactly what I gotta do and get that love from up above. Try one best man to be a good bro. Never low, I stay on our toes in this life while we on the go. But keep that divine in our
Welcome,
mind.
brothers and sisters, generals, to another edition of EBX Discussion. And as I played that song before, it's called Rebel in E. But that's for anyone that listen to that. Say that to yourself. There's a rebel in you, you know, that won't let nothing stop us, you know. And always got to remember, you know, what it took some of us to get to where we are. So again, salute, you know, to another edition of EBX Discussion. Current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, want to salute you and thank you. And keep striving and keep doing things to be better and be greater. Stay focused and always go into deep meditative prayer as much as we can, you know. And stay vigilant, as I just said. I'm telling you, be amazed. Make ourselves our best project. Be amazed. What we can manifest in one spirit. It's a good feeling, you know. And of course, action. You know, you got to have action in life, but you know, comes with a righteous thought, and you know, and the rest is history. Because as I love to say, where the mind goes, the body goes. Brothers and sisters and family in the world, online, with that great divine. I'm calling it down. Protection from that great divine for ourselves and from ourselves. So we never ever become our own worst enemy, and learn as much as we can while we're on this journey. You know, we'll never ultimately know everything, but get as much knowledge as possible so we can come into our graceful years, blazing like a general do, male, female, brother or sister, family, you know. And salute to Lord Lamont. We had a wonderful time Saturday, and got to get out and went and seen my mom. Salute to my mom and my uncle. We visited my uncle. I meant to mention that in the podcast Lord Lamont and I did. Pyramids, comedy and music. Had a good time. You know, had Michael Jackson on the banner. And Eddie and the other sister, I had to look her up who that sister was that played Nefertiti in the video and song Remember the Time. And that was our inspiration on the banner and or thumbnail. And I had brought up, we all seen the video, Remember the Time, Michael Jackson. And I love the Egyptian attire everyone had on, Magic Johnson, everyone that was in that video. But I spoke on the scene where Michael Jackson was kissing the sister that was playing Nefertiti, and how he was really actually kissing her in that scene if you watch that video. So I just thought that was kind of funny and amazing, and it was like, wow, it's like Michael was gonna take her right there on the set. But rest in peace and empire, MJ. Yeah, because we know his name is out there. Just had the movie and a lot of controversy surrounding that movie. I tell you, when you strip away all the things that happened in MJ's life and his family's life and Janet Jackson, and it's just so many things. When you strip away all that mess, all Mike wanted to do was make music at the end of the day. When you strip away all the crap that entered as he got better and more passionate and more creative. But one thing I will draw from the movie, Michael was a creative brother. That brother, man, he did not play when it came to his creativity. He was awesome when it came to that. And he was really connected to his divine spirit. It showed that in the movie. That I appreciated in the movie. It really showed how connected MJ really was to his spiritual self. And it's just a shame what he had to go through. Again, as many artists, you know, that meant well, that left us too soon, all they wanted to do was make music. So that's what centers me about a lot of the controversial things about some celebs and stuff. But that's why we meditate, right? And we process things, as Lord Lamont and myself talked about or spoke on, I should say. So salute to brothers and sisters, warriors, family, is not giving in to this punk ass matrix or this punk ass devil out here. Because what I always say, the devil is a very powerful illusion. You learn this. Michael knew this, once he seen the devil. But what it was a fucking illusion. And that's what it is. And that's why one must be into deep meditative prayer or whatever it takes to get to the bowels of our soul, as long as it's righteous though. We all have different journeys and different ways of connecting with our spiritual selves, but we better connect with it whatever way that is, because there's many labels, many distractions, many ways, but in hindsight, the real God, there's only one God, folks. So that's facts. Anyone can take that how they want it, but we talking about a righteous God, ones that make us see right and be visual warriors. And God ain't this soft thing. It's the most powerful thing, as well as Mama Nature will ever experience in this life. It's just man, toxic man, has put different labels on that great divine, but it's the most powerful thing we'll ever experience, because it's too many moments I've experienced in my life. Lord Lamont and many, I'm sure, have had those moments, those divine moments that we can't explain. That's our evidence. So every now and then, go in our divine mental file and just see the things we have blazed through, as I always say, that just little divine things we can't explain to this day. And every now and then we'll go back to it. That's what centers us. Something got us to where we are. We're not in the position we're in. I don't do coincidences. Every position, everywhere, everyone's standing, wherever part of the world, global perspective and protection, as I always say. The foundation we're standing on is for a reason. Just got to know your position, and how do we know our position? By pinpointing anxiety and freeing ourselves of anxiety. That's how we can find our purpose, whether it's a huge scale, because it depends on that great divine and what we can handle. Our position could be, just given to humanity in a small way. Don't always have to be on this big scale, and whether you got a platform or not. I'm talking about in general, just in life, being strong and upright human being and not hurting ourselves or no one else. That's given to humanity right there. And we're protecting our realm, because I always speak on that realm, physical and spiritual. And of course, the mental, because you got your mental straight and got that fortress up, nothing can F with us on the outside. Once we conquer that psyche, brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, you hear me talk about that psyche a lot, because again, what developed a strong, upright human being is learning from the what? The woulda, coulda, shoulda. I call it the woulda, coulda, shoulda syndrome. So every now and then, get off to oneself, away from social media. Ain't even got to be speaking. No one has to know. That's what meditation is all about. And just process things, and make your divine spirit your best friend. Real talk. Man, because my mom was speaking to Aaron and was telling, Aaron is Lord Lamont's name. And she gave him some insurance. It was nice to see them hug and talk. Yeah, and it's just good family energy, Even though we all have our challenges, things happening, the economy and the world and the politics and the celebs and, the violence. And as we know, a lot of things, swirling around us or coming at us at some angles, or if not all angles. But that's why we do things like this. Like I said, this was a form of meditation. And today, leaders and teachers with a student spirit, we're going to pinpoint anxiety. And welcome to E's House of Nature. And today, we sitting outside chilling. Usually, I have on the banner, the ambiance will be sitting in the house. I usually have the depiction of a beautiful home, but this is beautiful here. I'm always thinking about nature. It centers me, Of course, we could all get in nature a lot more, but at least keep it in our mind, keep it in our spirit. So when we do pass by that beautiful open field or park, if we're fortunate to be somewhere out in the open, especially on a beautiful day, as I always say, get in it and soak it up, breathe it all in and just take a moment and breathe. Got to do that in life, but it takes practice, being aware of that, and not getting caught up in our, have emotional detachment from things, not shutting everything and everyone off, but just things that we don't need in our psyche so we can see. Because walking through life blind with no awareness, as I always say, free falling through life is what? Danger, danger, danger. And having awareness and learning can be fun. Don't always have to be this dramatic thing. We find out good things about ourselves. Like, whoa, wow, I didn't know that about myself. And that's what deep meditation and our deep prayer is all about. But we got to kick out that anxiety. You got to move out our house. We got to get that anxiety out of there. So that's why I got that depiction of nature on the banner. So just sit down, chill for a minute. We're sitting around the fire, having a discussion, spiritually. And it is good to connect with family, and brothers and sisters. That's important too, just to get that energy. It's reassuring, it's encouraging. Again, like Lord Lamont and my mom. Salute to my mom and my family, biological and divine. May the great divine just protect us, keep us strong, keep us prospering. So let's get to it. Before we get to a hip hop break, y'all know, man, a hip hop break. There's a rebel in you and me and all of us. What that song represents in the intro. And again, salute to Lord Lamont and his girl Trish, his old lady Trish. May they be strong and learn each other, because they're kind of going through a learning each other. You know how you get in those relationships and you got to learn each other and figure each other out. Of course, Ethan's mom and I went through that, but somebody got to be righteous. Everybody can't be toxic. You can't see nothing if one is toxic, period. Facts. But Lord Lamont come from a strong family, like I said. So he gonna be all right. He a warrior. And we had a discussion. He said he been a warrior since the age of 9. And I always told him somewhere in our bloodline, somebody was a rebel. And we did come across an ancestor. His name was James L. I have to look up I think it's James L. Leonard, but don't quote me. I have to look it up. But I got it here on my podcast. Matter of fact, I put that in the end screen, but I might have mispronounced his name. So forgive me if I didn't say his name correct. But I know it was James L. Farmer, duh. James L. Farmer. James Leonard Farmer, Jr. And his father was an activist. His mom was an activist. And when I looked at the picture, we do resemble him. And he was a civil rights leader. And he marched alongside Martin Luther King. I'd never heard of this brother. So I told him that we got activism in our blood. So I told him, I said, somebody in our family was a revolutionary, because I see it in dreams. It's just certain ideas pop up in our spirit. So Lord Lamont said when he was 9 years old, because I didn't see Lord Lamont when he was, his mom and I split up, so I didn't see him for a little while. We've spoke on it. And, I didn't see him for a long time, and then we reunited, got back together, and here we are, EBX and Lord Lamont. But he and I will have a discussion Saturday. Yep, but he said at 9 years old, he was against saying pledge allegiance to the flag, all the things schools have you do and all that. He said he was a rebel then. He said he was 9 years old, standing up against all those adults. So I'm telling you, it's a warrior spirit in my family. I've always said that, And somewhere down the line, somebody was a warrior. And I don't know, it's like it missed generations. It come through some, and I think it tapped into Aaron. Aaron picked up on that. He's always been against, things about the school and the system and stuff like that. So be thankful if our youth is aware, man. That's the most beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing in the world when a youth, whether it's male, female, brother, or sister, know who they are, because that's very powerful. And I'm telling you, Lord Lamont is gonna blaze the way in the future. I can see it, because I told him, I said, son, you just going through a season right now. That's all. We've all been through our seasons, and my mom pretty much told him the same thing. You just going through your season. That's all. The struggle, the fire ain't gonna do nothing but refine you, is all, as I say. You be all right. We get a little, we won't get burned, but we might get singed a little bit here and there in life. But we again, that's what some of the strongest warriors, that's how they develop, and generals that's standing firm today, because we blaze through them. Now we are the fire, real talk. So He gonna be all right, as well as his siblings, his brothers and his sisters that live in other parts of the states. As I said, I got 2 other daughters and another son that lives in different parts of the states. Andrea, Naya, and Elijah. So that make me a great divine be in their life, as well as Ethan and his other siblings, and one's family. That's how we do it. And brothers and sisters in the world online, especially the righteous ones, they're just doing what we have to do to take care of our families and do the best we can with the knowledge we do know. But I tell you, the knowledge we do have, use it. I always say the power we possess, or any kind of power we may, have, use it or wield it gracefully, because it'll come back tenfold. That's facts. And a lot of us are living in the fruit one bear. Like I said about my Aunt Vera, rest in peace and in power. Literally living in the fruit she bears. She bared, she took care of her family while she was here. So thankful for that. I'm literally living in the house she owns. So ponder that. So we gotta be thankful, and we grab up that torch and pass it on. Again, whether it's in a big space or small space, I always like to say we can't focus on what's in front of us, especially if it's toxic. We won't see what's beyond. The blessing or a blessing could be right in front of us or beyond. That's why we meditate, get into deep prayer, again, and pinpoint anxiety, and begin to free ourselves of anxiety. But first, we got to see if we have anxiety, if it's within us, or it could be coming from the outside, person, place, thing, Actually got that from Bernie Mac. Rest in peace and in power. Treat this world like a noun and break it down. Person, place, thing. Again, we're pinpointing where any anxiety, if any, where it's coming from. And that's how we get away from stress. So I always say stress is a killer. We got to have little stress or no stress at all. And I always got to give a little reminder. You want to know how dangerous stress is? Look it up. It's just like a virus. Stress literally can kill you, either right away or slowly, because stress can enter in subtle ways. That's why I said person, place, thing. And that's a vigilant way of thinking, and we don't get to a space where we know everything. Just awareness. It's beautiful when one reach that certain level of awareness, but we never stop. We keep learning, All right, so I'm going to read this summary. And I do have 4 spell breaker statements. And yep, so that's the first thing. Do we have any anxiety? Are we triggered by things? How do we feel about maybe those who have more than us? How does that trigger us? Does that bother us? This is questions we just ask ourselves. How much time do we spend on social media? How do we feel about our families? How do we feel about ourselves? Do we love ourselves? Just different questions. How are the connection with, us as adults, as parents, with our children, So this is just little things we think about when we're meditating and, get to the root. I always say the bottom of the barrel, thong, and get underneath all the gunk and get to that great, wonderful warrior part of us, that's not letting none toxic break our spirit ever. Facts. So let's get into this summary. Of course, we're going to get to this stimulation hip hop break. And we're going to manifest that divine power against any anxiety. I'm calling down protection from that great divine to deflect any anxiety, with whether it's coming through social media, life, triggers, because you can have triggering ads, triggers in period when we're out and about, or when we're on social media, you just minding your business, stuff just pop up on the side or something like that. You really, those triggers, that's triggers and impulses. I think those are the most important and pivotal in one's life. That's why I got things like this on the banner. I always say, set that tone for today. And as I always say, good day, good afternoon, and good evening. Whatever time zone one is in, get yourself in a meditative environment, something that inspires one and relaxes one, like this on the banner. Again, you can't tell me this wouldn't be relaxing, just sitting around the fire, having a discussion, whether it's a deep discussion or a joyful, fun discussion. Because never forget joy either, brothers and sisters. Joy is a part of the balance too. That's why Lord Lamont and I love comedy. So you hear us talk about comedy and hip hop and just music in general. Those two things, you'll hear me and Lord Lamont speak on that a lot, because I love comedy, And salute to Ali Sadiq, who's shown a brother love so many times. And again, reason why I talk about or I speak on Ali Sadiq so much, because he interacts with his supporters, and I love that. And but everybody, again, you got to be vigilant. You got to vet people. I understand that too, because this is a crazy world we're living in. So, but those who are able to sift through the toxic people and able to see the ones who genuinely care and support, I thank those who have vigilant like that, because again, it's crazy in this world. We just, like I said, that's why we can't compare ourselves to each other. We have to first understand what one may have been through or going through, in this life. And I'm talking about in the world in general or on social media, because me and Lord Lamont, we made a video called "The Art of Navigation and Regulation." And through this shark infested social media, you better know the art of navigation, and that goes for our eyes and our psyche, because things in the media really can tantalize your spirit. If one isn't, how can I put it, stable in our spirit, which is connected to our psyche. So again, salute to Ali Sadiq and anybody that's real, like, and not just him. He's kind of an example, but he always show a brother love when I comment on his videos and stuff. And anybody I've met, or not met, but connected with online, haven't seen face to face, that have been real. I appreciate you, thank you, and I salute you. Because I've learned from many on this journey. I always say, great divine always manifests a warrior on our path, whether it's in our family, brother or sister, in the world, online. And when we get to a place of vigilance and awareness, we know who the enemies are, but just make sure it's not ourselves. Real talk. Kill the enemy within. We must. So again, salute to all those who stay who they are and don't let the world sway them, because it can be challenging for some of us. All right. So let's get to, we're gonna exude that divine power and pinpoint anxiety today, and we're gonna free ourselves. After today, we're not gonna have no more anxiety. I'm calling it. Just like how I claim my blackness, I'm calling it. There's not gonna be any anxiety after today. Anyone listening to this, current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, me and Lord Lamont, we salute you and we thank you. All right. So let's get into that divine power and deflect anxiety. Let's go. Divine power, deflecting and against anxiety, is access through deep meditation and/or deep prayer. Serious though, not no superficial stuff. Trusting in that great divine's sovereignty and meditating, which we can make a promise to ourselves, and make a promise to ourselves and that great divine to always maintain our peace and wholeness. That's, and study, like I said, things like this on the banner. This is just an example though. Again, we got to make sure our environment within our soul, our mind, body, and soul, that all three of those have to be in alignment as much as it can be. Again, different strokes, different folks. We're in different parts of the world, different journeys. I would say different ways of being raised, but it's only one way to get to that divine spirit righteously. However way we get there, it's got to be whole. Which promises us peace if we practice these things. Self-awareness, breathing exercises. I've learned that working on the job. You have to take moments and breathe. It's good. It really is good for the mind, body, and soul. And I always like to say, one can't work without the other. All right. Okay. When we get into deep meditation and/or prayer, promise ourselves and that great divine to keep peace and wholeness that surpasses understanding, understanding, and overstanding, and guard our hearts at all costs in our mind, body, and soul. Yep. And we don't say cast cares, but we lose ourselves in that great divine and righteous things, and more will just come. Acknowledgement of that great divine, consistently every day. We don't, again, only those who do prayer or meditate, we got to do it every other day, if not every day, every other day, consistently. Sometimes I just say, thank you, great divine. Thank you, great divine, just for no reason, Keep it in our spirit. Keeps us positive within, Again, the environment is very important to set that tone every day, Anything that's sucking energy from you, making you feel some kind of way, get the hell away from it. Seriously, excuse my French. All right? And we will see great divine move through us, Mother Nature. Things will, ideas, adventurous things we want to do. Step outside of ourselves. Now, we go deep within. When I say step outside of ourselves, when I say that, I'm saying do different things, Don't leave this life without doing some of the things we've always wanted to do, because that's a way we can connect with our spirit and divine things, ideas and stuff like that. Traveling. It's just good to be adventurous. I'm talking about in a righteous way, nothing bad, all right? And we lose ourselves in it. Acknowledgement, Yep. Acknowledging and cares for us as knowers. We, as I learned from a couple of great brothers, we have to begin to know, like know thyself. We can't just believe. We have to know. And again, not knowing everything, but knowing, because knowing has a firm foundation. People can believe anything. Now, it was a time I didn't know that, but I learned it, and we experience it, and we see it through person, place, thing. We see things in this world, what people, quotation marks, believe in. No, one has to know righteously. Mind, body, and soul. See, hear, and feel in that beautiful psyche. Can exchange fear for strength, loving ourselves. Yep. And a sound mind. We have to keep our practice on having quiet moments every now and then and reason with oneself. Talk to ourselves. Talk to that divine spirit. And that's how we'll, again, when we meditate, a true reason, I would say the ultimate reason we get into deep meditative prayer is to sort through solutions, come up with results, or tap into our creativity. And this is whatever it is. It's an open field. I always say open field. Global perspective, And again, searching for something in us that may be laying dormant. A good gift we have. Don't waste a good gift. Real talk. Especially if it can help oneself and humanity and our culture. Man, it's beautiful. Giving to the community, or we just giving right where we are. We be that pillar right where we are. Real talk. That warrior pillar. That great divine has put in all of us. Brothers and sisters, generals in the world, online. Just tap into it and keep on blazing. And get rid of any anxiety. Pinpoint it wherever it is. If it's in ourselves, person, place, thing, and practice, like I said, breathing exercises, pay attention to our surroundings, and it just makes us sharper. Sometimes we can help people just by conversation. Be amazed. A positive word can change one's whole outlook on life, and that's what it's all about. Picking up the torch and healing oneself deep within that core, and come out blazing. And teach others to blaze in their lives, because that's what it's all about. Those who want to learn, brother, sister, family, younger or older, in the world, online, because that's what divine power is all about. Wield it gracefully, because what we put out divinely will ultimately come back divinely. Facts. Some of us are living this, right? And it's beautiful, and we keep growing and we keep learning. We stay a student. I'm telling you. We stay a student, you can never go wrong. We'll defeat that devil. The devil's already defeated already. Once one has a solid psyche, there's nothing the devil can do to you. Nothing on the outside can F with you. When you stay within that divine power and lose ourselves in Mama Nature, like on the banner here. Again, just imagine ourselves just sitting around this fire, listening to the trickling sounds of the water, the breeze, and the birds chirping, and the trees blowing in the wind, and beautiful. I would love to have this. Would be a good getaway, like vacation spot on the banner here. It's beautiful, And I have been in areas like this in my younger days. I've actually been on field trips, stuff like that, and have seen areas like this. Lord Lamont said, when he was younger, they used to always tromp through creeks and in the woods and all that. I used to do that too. So, yep. So that's why you'll see a lot of this on the banner, or water, or because I've had, like I said, I've had dreams about water. I used to dream about water a lot. I have this fascination with water. I've always had dreams about water. Yep, I always said that's a sign. Those who dream about water are deep thinkers. What they say, still waters run deep. So ponder that. Yep, but there's also kind of a dramatic side to dreaming about water too. It's a positive side, and there's also like a kind of a dramatic side, because it also could mean, like, if you dream about massive amounts of water and you feel fearful, and when you're dreaming about the water, that means it's a challenge that haven't been dealt with, that's deep in your subconscious. Because I remember looking that up. I always say, if we have dreams, look them up. Because that's tapping into that realm, that spiritual world, our dreams. I always say dreams, synchronicities, signs, and deja vu. Those are all windows into that spiritual world or realm. Just got to step into it. Be amazed, what we'll tap into. But we remember, always got to throw that word righteous in there, So again, we get a special ability or gift, or we get blessed with something good or blissful, righteously. Man, wield our gifts or power gracefully. Yep, because we got to remember, it's a righteous ripple effect. But the opposite is a toxic ripple effect. We don't want that, right? So stay as righteous as possible. None of us are perfect. We're only human. But when our heart is right and fearless, nothing can F with us. All right, so let's get to this hip hop break. And we're going to come back, and I'm going to read these 4 spellbreaker statements. And again, I'm going to salute your divine warriors or generals on to your divine life. All right, let me see. Let's get to this hip hop break. Let me see. The first song. Let me see. All right, we're going to outro out with Rebel in E. In you, and in me, and in us. First song is Putting It Down, That means when we say putting it down, it means like for those in the communities and those who standing up for truth and never giving up in life, and those who just ain't giving up, period. Whether you speaking truth or not, we putting it down. We ain't playing. We stomping on the devil's head, real talk. So let's get to this song, Putting It Down. Let's see. Be back after this. Salute.
EBX. Brothers and sisters, I gotta put it down. Thanking God that we around. New sheriff in town. Hey, man, I gotta put it down. Brothers and sisters, gotta put it down. Thanking God that we around. Hey, new sheriff in town. I gotta put it down, brothers and sisters. I'm here, I ain't doing the old thing. Then I keep my mind so smart and I never go insane. I smart things while I get up on this mic and sing. And yeah, in this life, and touch up on my brain and get up in the soul. My sisters and my bro, I always say vibrations high, never low. And I stay up on this ground and I keep on making it sound. I'm thinking my brothers and my sisters, family, we around. Woo! And I gotta put it down. I'm thanking God that we around. Woo. A new sheriff in town. Brothers and sisters, man, I put it down. I'm thanking God that we around. A new sheriff in town. EBX, I gotta put it down. Brothers and sisters. I remember when I used to be a nice guy, but now I'm here and I'm somewhere in the sky and doing old things, man. I'm trying to be a smart bro, and yeah, keep us on our toes. I'm watching for my children and my family. Gotta watching for the devils while I'm out here in the streets. That's why I break it down, man. I own this in my seed, man. I got my family, no devil ever get the E. No, that's why I put it down. I'm thanking God that we around. Woo. A new sheriff in town. Brothers and sisters, gotta put it down. I'm thanking God that we around. A new sheriff in town. EBX, I gotta put it down. Brothers and sisters, yeah, keep on fighting. Yeah, man, up in this life. Yeah, I'm a single man. Yeah, I might not have a wife, but I'm strong. I'm standing firm. around while up on this ground. Like you hear up on this song, thinking got that I'm around. I'm a beast, wanna get up on this beast. And ain't no devil ever gonna quiet the E. I stay up on this sound, so strong in my bones. I'm thanking everybody that's got divine zone. Yeah. And then I keep on putting it down. I'm thanking God that we around. Brothers and sisters, yeah. New sheriff in town. Salute.
Real talk. All right, new sheriff in town. That's what we say to the devil, you know. Stomp on the devil's head. Yep, devil can't mess with a divine warrior. Yep. And then once we step on the devil's head, we thank that great divine. And we just, you know, connect with that divine spirit. I played this song before, but one of my favorite songs, and Lord Lamont likes this song. It's got like a banjo effect to it. And this is a way of saying thank you, great divine, for one's family, children, and every time we wake up. Because we alive and breathing, guess what? We back to conquer another day, another year, another decade, you know. Thanking that great divine. All right, be back after this.
Shit. EBX to my generals. Man, we can feel it. A deep in the spirit. Sometimes we can hear it. The great divine. And man, we can feel it, chill it. A deep in the spirit. Sometimes we can hear it. The great divine. And man, we can feel it, chill it. A deep in the spirit. Sometimes we can hear it. The great divine. A woman know a power, I can't be stopped. I like spitting jewels on this hip hop. Don't care about the bottom nor the top. To the oneself, take it up another notch. And if you're doing good, man, I give you your props. But sometimes, man, that can mean a lot. Yeah. All about the message, don't care if it's high. I come up with the soul, on the song. And every time, I drop. A fire is burning, deep inside. Yeah. And I'm about to pop. And to my baby mamas, my daughters and my sons, I face all challenges, never ever run. No. Look deep within, and we've won. Brothers and sisters, just become one. Feel it in our spirit. And sometimes we hear it. The great divine. And man, we can feel it. A deep in the spirit. Sometimes we can hear it. The great divine. I live by truth, that's what one do. And too many adults that don't have a clue. Don't look at me, look deep in you. And that's how we win and never ever lose. I've been there, done that, not a fucking fool. Life that we have is what we choose. Yeah. So if you fucking up and wanna hear no boo-hoo, the laws of attraction, that is the rule. I've been there too, but I refuse to have the fucking blues. I got to use the righteous tools and become one. It's time to go to school. Feel it in our spirit. Sometimes we can hear it. The great divine. And man, we can hear it. And man, we can feel it. Sometimes we can hear it. I keep on moving on these songs. I gotta do this, that's how I stay strong. Man, and every morning set that tone. Like I say in my speech, I'm a beast. And every time, man, I get up on this beat. I never ever stop, man, I love hip hop. And I show that love a lot. To my family and my children too. Man, I gotta do, man, what I gotta do. But here I stand, trying to be a real man. A positive power with words I'm saying. I got that divine all up in my soul. Wanna raise my family and sisters and bros. Man, we feel it, chill it. Deep up in the spirit. And man, we can hear it. The great divine. And man, we can feel it, chill it. Deep up in the spirit. Sometimes we can hear it. The great divine. Brothers and sisters. Yeah. Brothers and sisters. The great divine. Sometimes we can feel it, chill it. Deep up in the spirit. So sometimes hear it. The great divine. Salute to my generals, to my family. Brothers and sisters. Yeah. Wake up music. Let's go. The great divine. The great divine.
All right, brothers and sisters. Yeah, I love music. where would we be without music? Real talk. All right. So we're gonna get back to the mojo, as Lord Lamont and I always say. And get to these 4 spellbreaker statements, as I said, and I'm gonna salute you divine warriors on to your divine general life. All right, so let's get to it. All right, leaders and teachers with a student spirit. You gotta get to the mojo. And it's called Good Vibes is in the intro. So let's get to it. Leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Let's break it down. All right. Spellbreaker statement number 1. As the question one asks before the hip hop break. Do we have any anxiety? And if we do, pinpoint it. See where it's coming from. Because we have to know our triggers and know our anxiety in order to free ourselves of anxiety. That's why I say the workplace is a great place to practice on pinpointing one's anxiety. Because again, I'm a chef / short order cook. So I've learned to take breathing exercises when I feel, because we can feel things well up in us, blood pressure rise and all that. So that's the reason we do these things, because of our blood pressure, our immune system. Everything affects the immune system, our thoughts, actions, you name it. That's facts, especially in the workplace and working and stuff. And you gotta take moments to slow down and get a grasp on life, and don't just go. It's okay. It's a difference between this. Is something I had to learn, and I've actually heard other people say the same thing. It's a difference between being productive and being busy. It's a difference. Being busy is not productive, because you can't just be go all the time. You miss things. And again, don't flow through this life. Well, we flow through this life, but don't go through life without experiencing hobbies we may have, gifts, things we like to do. So that's what I say about pinpointing anxiety. We carrying anxiety, because anxiety is a cousin of stress. So, and it'll hinder us from getting to a great part of ourselves. Now, again, one's not an expert in this area, but life, if you learn from life, which is the best teacher, Mama Nature, and become aware of oneself, we can pinpoint and free ourselves of anxiety. It's not impossible, but it takes practice. It takes awareness. It takes effort, and practice and staying on it, And even when we do make mistakes, that's what makes us better and stronger, right? And more aware. So again, the workplace is the perfect place to learn our triggers or be aware of our anxiety. Yep, because again, a lot of times it can be something from person, place, or thing that can trigger a little anxiety in us. Even subtle, and even subconsciously, So I've learned I listen to music on the job. That's one way, because I can flow with music, real talk, whether it's busy or not. It's like, be thankful if Great Divine gives you a focus. If you can focus and plow through things in the middle of chaos, which can be challenging, pat yourself on the back, because that's not easy to do. But when you practice, and we can, and see the results. So yeah, do we have any anxiety was the first spellbreaker statement. And if we do, see where it's coming from, pinpoint it, like one said. Are we triggered by things? Give ourselves a little test. Like I give myself a little test sometimes, And if we do get emotion, let the emotion ride. See where, don't suppress it. Let it flow. See where it's coming from. That's how we get to know ourselves. Let the emotion ride. If we feel an emotion about something, and see where it is. Because again, as the human mind, human body, when we're coming into awareness and we're studying ourselves, things are going to come up in our spirit that's been buried sometimes. So that's why we go into, as I said in that summary, we go into deep meditation and or deep prayer, but serious deep meditation, deep prayer, not no superficial stuff. Because as I always say, just be thankful and ask for protection. Great Divine and Mama Nature know what we need, and it will come. Just ask for protection so we can be protected from things when we do get that blessing or blessing, because things don't come right away sometimes, because we're not ready. We learn this. So again, we get emotions about things. Let it ride. See where it's coming from. Don't suppress it. Deal with it. Question yourself. Talk to oneself, in a righteous way. Ain't talking about nothing crazy, just make ourselves our best project and free ourselves of anxiety, because that's not good to carry around. Real talk. All right. It's like a silent killer, like stress. All right. Spellbreaker statement number 2. Never let things fester. Study, observe, learn. And we do this, it equals righteous results. That's why we do this. Never let things fester, whether it's within ourselves, our personal lives, etc., etc. We, again, like I said about the emotion, feel something about something. See where it's coming from, why we're getting it. It could be something hidden in our subconscious, all right? I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. Where the mind goes, the body goes. So ponder that. All right. That was Spellbreaker statement number 2. Never let things fester. Study, observe, and learn. And we do this for righteous results. Everything is about results. All right. Mind, body, and soul. All right. Spellbreaker statement number 3. Let me see. We have to know the arts of self-encouragement. Encourage ourselves. Learn to practice on encouraging oneself. Like that's why I like this on the banner. It inspires me. I love ambiances. It just relaxes my soul. We have to relax our mind, body, and soul so we can think and come up with results or the best solution possible. Because I always say, be the solution and never ever the problem. So again, know the art of self-encouragement. Encourage oneself, because if we're carrying encouraging energy, we'll exude that energy out to the world, our family. And like I always say, I always encourage, the kids and Ethan's mom, but everyone has to see into their own core, because everyone's a leader and teacher within. Again, it's not always at no podium or a big scale. It's about being the best of oneself where we are, not staying where we are, but knowing our position in life and just flow and let things come, naturally, not waiting on things forever. I ain't talking about that. We got to make action too. We can't just sit on our ass. We got to put that action out there, that effort, All right. Okay. Last but not least, like I said, number 3 was know and learn the art of self-encouragement. Okay. Spellbreaker statement number 4. Never let great divine gifts lay dormant. As I said, we have a gift, a hobby, something we've always wanted to do. Do it. Like music. I've been doing music since the 90s. And I've performed at places, but I never really done it on a big, wide scale. But I am pretty much satisfied with the music. I've gotten people to hear it and people have liked it and all that kind of stuff. I pretty much did what I wanted to do with music. So I'm good, I'm just thankful that Great Divine even, put that in my heart, because that comes from my family too. My granddad was in a singing group. And I think they were the Skylights. Cause I was talking to my mom Saturday about it. And he was in a singing group. And so that's where, music in actually it's in my whole family. But, some of us sing and rap, some of us don't. Some of us just have an ear for music. And that stemmed from my granddad and my grandma, actually. But I didn't know granddad was in a group for a long time. And I got it here right on the channel. And they were called the Skylights or something like that. And they were a singing group. So yeah, and granddad, we used to sing. He was a baritone, is what my mom said. With the deep voice, like the he was that. He was the baritone, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so that was wonderful, So, yeah, salute to my mom for always, man. I'm telling you, every memory that one can think of, my mom, she got pictures and old, scrap notes and, man, everything from memories of our family. My mom keep all that stuff. Like I said, she gave me 75 vinyl albums, and I got everything. Every album from the 70s, around the 70s, I got all them albums from that era. A lot of them, 75 of them, all the lates. Isaac Hayes, Prince, when he's sitting on the unicorn, I think it was a unicorn or a horse, a white horse. I got that. Of course, the Thriller, Michael Jackson, I got that. Al Green, as I heard a brother mention on the radio, they play Al Green on the radio think it was Mother's Day, when Al Green was in that all white, sitting in that wicker chair. I got that album, and I'm that's like gold. I'm never getting rid of them. So yeah, like I said, my mom keep everything. Real talk. She might not be perfect, but very wise. And she done been through some things. She's blazed through her challenges as well as all those in my family. Like I said, come from a strong ass family. That's why I tell Lord Lamont all the time. We come from a strong family. So that was amazing what I learned about my granddad. But like I said, Spellbreaker statement number 4, never let great divine gifts lay dormant. And that's whatever gift that is. Like I said, global perspective, don't leave this life or this world without, a hobby, without exuding a hobby we got, or doing a gift, expressing a gift we have. Just let it flow. Do something we always wanted to do. I'm talking about righteously. Be adventurous in this life. Learn some stuff, so just things like that, of that nature. But of course, we're talking righteous things. So that was the last statement. Thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX discussion. Lord Lamont and myself, we'll have music in the future, and as well as L'Oreal Lyrical. Rest in peace and in power. I haven't played her music in a while. So I'll be playing her music, and her spirit is always with me, as well as others in my family that may have rest in peace and in power, as well as those who are listening. Anyone we held dear, may they rest in peace and in power. But their spirit lives on through us. But those who are current and alive, may great divine be in our life, keep us strong, prospering as brothers and sisters and family, younger or older, in the world, online. Y'all know how I do it. Global perspective and protection. Yep, so I'm gonna salute your divine warrior zone, to your divine life. And as I said, we're gonna outro out with there's a rebel in E, but not just in E. It's in you and it's in us. And it's in all of us. Real talk. Yep, and I don't want you to forget that. And a rebel ain't always being, again, on this wide scale, just having a rebel spirit that ain't giving that devil no fucking room, sealing up all cracks, not letting nothing negative enter our mind, body, and soul at all. It's important. Like I said, one can't work without the other. Real talk. So yeah, brothers and sisters, family, stay strong, stay vigilant. Like I said, exercise those gifts, and thank those for coming in to another Ease House and ambiance of nature on the banner. And thank those for sitting around the fire with a brother, discussing and just chilling with me, because again, just think of us just sitting around this fire, having a nice warm discussion about, the way of the world and ourselves and person, place, thing, and keep a beautiful environment within, brothers and sisters. You'll never go wrong, because what's beautiful within will be beautiful on the outside and just radiate. And we can create some beautiful warriors out here, male, female, brother or sister, family in the world, online. As I always say, folks, treat our mind, body, and soul like Taekwondo. Salute.
Shit. Wake up music. Shit. Never stop. For that great divine. Let's go. Salute. There's a rebel in E. I never lose that love. But that's deep in D. Go, go, go. Brothers and sisters. There's a rebel in E. I never ever lose that love. But that's deep in D. Go, go, go. Brothers and sisters. Yeah. There's a rebel in E. Keep on grooving. Never no losing. Do exactly what I gotta do and get that love from up above. Try one best, man, to be a good bruh. Never low, I stay on our toes in this life while we on the go. But keep that divine in our mind, man, I promise you we'll be fine. Always see our family in these streets, but we gotta be a beast. There's so much death and murder going on, and in this life, man, we gotta stay strong. That's why I do this in these songs, in that great divine zone. Never will stop, we're never alone. There's a rebel in E. I never lose that love, but that's deep in D. Go, go, go.
go.
Brothers and sisters, there's a rebel in E. I never ever lose that love. It's so deep in D.
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters,
Wake up music.
right, life has made me stronger. Never wonder, I know what is in my gut. I hear never looking down, man. I keep us a looking up. Good energy is all I see. I try one best to be a good E. I never will stop. You never know quit. You're in this life. I never quit. Go. There's a rebel in E. I never lose that love. It's so deep in D.
Go, go.
There's a rebel in E. But I never lose that love. It's so deep in D. Brothers and sisters, there's a rebel in E. But I never lose that love. So deep in D. There's a rebel in E. I never lose that love, so deep in D.